If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. If you are new to the family and you have just recently pressed the red subscribe button, please drop a heart in the comment section to let us know that you are new to the family and we can officially welcome you. Now, I don't want this intro to be long, guys. I'm just going to tell you guys about my miscarriage story, and I want to issue a trigger warning because this is a sensitive issue. I know I'm a bit upbeat and light about it, but it's because I've done the work of like trying to heal that part of my life or journey as a woman. And so I hope you will, at the end of this, take something out of it if you've been through a similar situation. If not, I hope you learn something, and I hope you also share with us in the comment section your own experience and how you managed to heal through it. Let's get to it. Today we are going to sit down and actually have a very serious conversation, a conversation that I think a lot of women will relate to. I spoke about obviously loss and how it was a little bit different from me this time, because I lost my grandmother in January, right? And it was slightly more palatable than when I lost my paternal grandmother in 2019, because also I've grown spiritually and I've gotten to kind of grapple with what death means to me. I came across a story on someone's Instagram, and they were speaking about how pained they are that they had lost a child, right? Someone who was ready to have a child, they fell pregnant, and then they lost the child to a miscarriage. And I feel like in those moments, you can feel very hopeless, and like that sense of loss, I don't think anybody who hasn't carried a child would actually understand. And I think also I can empathize because I've had a miscarriage myself, and I've spoken briefly about this when I was speaking about my birthing story. And I'm going to share with you guys the details of my miscarriage and how that happened and how I dealt with that. But I just want to say that since having a child, when I saw that message, it kind of was a light bulb moment for me to say, even though you've gone through it, sometimes as humans, we tend to complain about things that whether we know or don't know, other people wish for, you know, and it makes us seem or come across as ungrateful people for blessings that other people are really praying hard to have, right? And I say this because I complain, and like I'm gonna call it complain plainly, because that's what people perceive it as. I genuinely am like, I'm sharing my experience, and sometimes my experience of motherhood isn't pleasant or isn't as fairy tale romanticized version of what motherhood is sold to us as. It should be okay, but when I saw that message, I was like, okay, maybe I need to be a little bit more conscious of where I share these moments of my experience of motherhood and how I share them, right? So let me share with you guys briefly what went on with my miscarriage. So first of all, I didn't know I was pregnant. Not the show. But I really genuinely didn't know that I was pregnant. I fell pregnant, and I think probably a couple of weeks after, I think I fell pregnant a week before I was supposed to start my period. And so when my period came, it was slightly late, but it wasn't like alarming to the point where I thought it could be pregnancy. So when I started bleeding, I automatically assumed it was my period. And so I was like, okay, normal period, whatever. And then it just didn't stop. It was just light. Like the bleeding was just lightened up slightly, you know, after the menstrual period that I had, the 7 days of a period. Then the blood was a bit lighter. What I guess medically they call spotting. So I was spotting. I think 2 months later, also let me give context, right? Me and the guy were not in a good space at the time. Secondly, I was pretty much stressed by what had happened or what was happening in the relationship. I understood why that kind of stress would have caused a possible miscarriage. And then I then came to visit my sister because I had to apply for a visa because I was meant to go to Ghana that year. I was in Pretoria for like a month, right? And the relationship, on the other hand, just wasn't working out because the relationship was in bloom. And this guy was just basically drifting away, if I could say that. And I just didn't understand. Well, I knew why, but like he had said, let's try, to make it work. So like, why are you drifting away after, guys? Can I just fix my lace? I just wore this for you guys because, I could look decent. Anyway, October, November, I'm still bleeding, right? Still spotting. December, I decide I'm gonna go back to Bloom and actually go talk to this guy. Okay, like what must happen, because I can see that the relationship is not working anymore. On my way to Bloom, right? We stopped go Kronval or Karachi, and as soon as I got out of the car, I could feel the blood gushing out, right? And I was just wearing a panty liner, so I quickly like got a pad, went to change my situation, and came back into the car. When we got to Bloom, guys, when I tell you I was in so much pain, this guy dropped me off at my then guy's mom's house. And as soon as I got there, I asked her for painkillers. She gave me like really strong painkillers and I passed out. Cool, this guy comes back from work. Like he's unbothered, as if like Mutuo hasn't seen me in like 3 months. You understand? And then Shapo, we have dinner. He's there speaking outside. I'm having this slight, as a woman, and your intuition will never lead you astray. So I have this feeling that, no, this guy is talking to a Han, and this is a Han that he's interested in because this is how he used to speak to me. Fine, whatever. After dinner, we wash dishes sharp, and then he's like, no, let me drop you off. Guys, we haven't seen each other in 3 months. So I'm assuming that we are obviously going to spend the night in each other's company. I don't mean anything like intimate or sexual like that. I'm just like, you haven't seen your girlfriend in 3 months, surely, and we used to like always be together. My boy drives me to my place. Next thing, when I go gating, and he's like, yeah, I'll see you in the morning. I'm like, are you not coming in? And he's like, no, I have to drop my cousin off. He's like, no, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to take you out for breakfast. I figure now, well, not now, but like then when I was trying to figure it out, this guy wanted to break up with me, but he wanted to let me down easy. Like, he's a good bad boy, I guess. So fine, I go to sleep in my apartment. First thing in the morning when I wake up, guys, and let me tell you, I had white sheets. When I wake up, I am red from here. Red. Guys, let me say trigger warning before, because I might just be explicit and like trigger people's traumas. So please listen with caution. So I was red from here. Ne? I slept in my pajamas, like just summer pajamas. So they were like light pink. They were all red. My sheets red. Guys, you don't understand my shock when I woke up. I was like, what the hell is going on? So I called my sister, who had initially said to me, what if you're having a miscarriage? And I sent her pictures and I'm like, this is what's going on. Guys, it looked like a murder scene. It looked like someone had been murdered in my bed. And I guess, if you have dark humor, that is what it was, right? So I speak to my sister. I'm like, I think I did have a miscarriage because I was in so much pain last night. And then when I arrived, and then this happened. So I take the sheets as they are. I take off my clothes. I put them in the bathtub. I wipe myself down. I put on some shorts and a t-shirt. Then this nigga calls me. He's like, hey, I'm outside. Please come out. So I come out. I want to show you something. O tsena mo apartment thing. Kiri, go into the bathroom and look in the bathtub. What's going on? Kiri, I don't know. I woke up and that was the situation. So I think I need to go to the doctor. Sharp, there's a doctor down our street, so he drives me to the doctor. Doctor Wang examiner. He's like, could you possibly be pregnant? Because it's either you're having a miscarriage or you are having an ectopic pregnancy. I'm like, I don't know nothing about pregnancy. He's like, go test. I'm like, my urine is still bloody. He's like, go test, my mama doctor. So I go test, a pregnancy test comes out positive. So I tell this guy, I'm like, yo, pregnancy test positive, I am pregnant. I don't know what we're gonna do about this. But the doctor says he has to admit me because he's not particularly sure if it's a miscarriage or an ectopic pregnancy. I don't have medical aid at the time because I'm no longer a student. If you're not a student, you get off your dad's medical aid. So, Hagimo medical aid thing. This guy says I need to go to Pelonomi hospital. I'm like, my brother, I am not going there. Take me to Mediclinic. My brother says, oh, if it's an ectopic pregnancy, we're looking at a procedure of like 50K. Give or take. This is in 2015. I said, okay, give me the Pelonomi letter. It's fine. Because first of all, where am I going to get the 50K? Secondly, I can't get it from my parents because how am I going to explain that I'm pregnant to my parents? This guy drives me to the public hospital. He stays with me until I get admitted, right? And that's like late in the evening. As soon as I got admitted, he was out of there. Cool. The next morning, the doctor, this was on the 13th of December, I think. My doctor comes back. Guys, first, I'm not going to talk about the trauma of the public hospital. But yeah, that whole situation was traumatic for me. So, and you get tested like regularly throughout the night. Shapo, this doctor, Ola Nikilegoyena, who told me I was pregnant, comes in the morning to the hospital. So he's got a private practice and then he comes to the hospital. He comes to the hospital, one check, I get my brother, please discharge me and transfer me to Pretoria, to a hospital in Pretoria. I need to go to Pretoria. I make up some excuse. This year, I don't care about what's happening with my life. But I don't tell the doctor that. I'm like, there's an emergency, family emergency. Please transfer me to Tshwane. I will make sure that I go there for treatment. This guy writes me a discharge letter, sharp, Tshwane, sharp. Now I have to call this nigga to come fetch me. My phone is on maybe 10% battery. He was supposed to have come at 7 o'clock in the morning to bring me food and to bring me a change of clothes and to bring me a charger. Mind you, I've been bleeding, guys. So my clothes also, they're red. I don't have clean clothes. The nurses, Barino, go clean yourself up, my sis, my good sis. Luckily, I was wearing like a dress. So I was able to like wash and wear, you know, and they gave me a pad. I try to call this guy, his phone is off. It's a Sunday, nah? Try to call him, his phone is off. I call his mom. His mom is like, that nigga took my car. So I don't know how I'm going to be able to assist you because I can't come fetch you because he took my car. I call his friend is in church. Now I'm just stuck. I'm like, you know what? I try to call my cousin. My cousin was in Pretoria. And then this nigga says to me, this nigga's mom says to me, she'll call me a cab to come fetch me and take me to her house. Sharp. Our mother afunela kebilona igwa, guys. I'm still in pain. I'm just like, I'm not the greatest person. I had to walk a distance to go get in the cab. Anyway, at least the mom came through for me. I get in the cab. The cab takes me to the mom's house. As soon as we get to the mom's house, this nigga comes in. Unbothered. Not caring for what happened, and I was having a miscarriage, nothing. The one thing he asked me is, do you not need to go take a bath? And I'm like, no, my brother, we need to talk. And he's like, no, we can't talk now. I have to go to Lesotho with my friends. In that moment, like, read the room, my brother. Read the room. I said, okay, sharp. Bye. I'll be fine. Don't drop me off. Get to my apartment. I pack my shit. I call my nigga who I came with from Pretoria. I'm like, dog, when you going back to Pretoria? He's like, today. I'm like, pick me up. I took a quick bath. I put on some clothes. I put on some red lipstick. I said, Pitori is where I'm going. And remember, guys, they didn't clean up. They were still trying to determine if I'm having a miscarriage or an ectopic pregnancy. And I left the hospital to say I would get treatment this side. I was like, nope, I'm not doing that to myself. Not after this nigga did this to me. And then the 14th of December, I called him. Basically, we broke up. 15th of December, my sister and I were like, fuck it, let's go out, let's go drink. And then 16th of December, I met my husband. So life works in mysterious ways. The reason why I'm telling the story is because in the moment, because of the relationship, because I didn't know I was pregnant, I did not really have any type of real connection to that pregnancy until it hit me a couple of years later, probably like just before I was pregnant with my child. And I realized just how much fear I had to fall pregnant. Firstly, the process of being pregnant. Secondly, having someone's child and trusting that that person is not going to leave you high and dry after they impregnate me, right? I had so many fears surrounding pregnancy that even when I fell pregnant, it felt like a death to me. I just wanted to just keep it like this, you know, like there was a lot of shame around it, as if I wasn't like a married woman, or as if I wasn't grown enough even to have a child. I had a lot of fear because of my miscarriage. I had a lot of anxiety surrounding the idea of having a child. That's my belief, right? My belief is souls live on, and I know that I have children that live on the other side. Sorry about that, guys. I actually got a call. Like, there's drama because somebody hacked my mom's number, and this person is busy asking people for money, go WhatsApp. So family is just calling me like, yo, what is going on? You know, but yeah. So just to conclude what I was saying, I basically then had to deal with the fact that I actually had a child that I lost. And for that reality to sink in, for my emotions to process the loss, right? And even then, the process of like naming the child, the process of having to cleanse for the child because of my own belief system. I think also a big part of the closure that the process of closure that I went through was to speak to my husband. I guess to make him understand my feelings around why I was the way I was when I was pregnant, and my anxieties around being pregnant, but also to have him also acknowledge that I do have children, you know, that apart from the child that we share, or Pilang, I have children in whatever realm I believe in, you know, that I always acknowledge, and I ask them to look after their brother. You would have noticed that I say children, because there's another child that I lost, but that's still very new, so I'm not going to talk about that. I just wanted to talk about this one because this miscarriage was something that at the core of it kind of shifted my perspective on loss, and on how insane the connection you have to your child is as a mother. So I just want to say in this video, I will actually speak about in context the loss of a pregnancy and dealing with the loss, or rather how I dealt with the loss. And I hope I've reached out to someone who may have gone through something similar, or who is going through something similar, But yeah, thank you so much for watching up until here. Please share your experience if you are healed enough, brave enough, courageous enough to do so in the comment section. Let's talk about it openly, because a lot of people go through it, and sometimes we really do feel alone. We feel like people don't understand just how much or just how painful it is to miscarry, and the sense of loss of hope, the sense of loss of a part of you that takes place when you do lose a pregnancy. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to comment. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys later.